Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to discuss on solving quadratic equation. We know the quadratic equation having the general form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. This is called the general form of the quadratic equation. To solve this quadratic equation, we're going to use three methods. That is, we may use the factorization method to solve for this quadratic equation, or we might use the completing the square method to solve the quadratic equation, or we might use the last method, that is using the quadratic formula. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to discuss on the question using the factorization to solve the quadratic equation. And in my next video, I'm going to discuss on completing the square. And the third video will be the quadratic formula. Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss on solving quadratic equation. Quadratic equation is always can be written in the form of is a general form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. And we call this form as a general form. Alright, general equation of quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, it can be solved by three methods. The first one I will discuss in this video will be factorization. And on my next video, I'm going to use completing the square to solve for the quadratic equation. And the third video, I'm going to use the quadratic formula to solve the quadratic equation. Actually, the quadratic formula, we can derive it from the completing the square. So first, we will try to understand what is how to use the factorization to solve the quadratic equation in this video. Here I have 8 examples. Let's look at the first one. This is the equation that can be factorized. The left hand side can be factorized. How do I factorize? I prepare two brackets and always make sure that this equation is the general form. Okay, then only we'll start our factorization. So how do we start? Look at the x squared, the term x squared. X squared is consists of x multiplied by x, and the 5 is consists of 5 multiplied by 1. So I will just simply put a 5, 1. Okay, and then after that, I will consider 5 multiplied by x, that will be 5x. 1 multiplied by x, that will be x. So I will consider how to make this 5x and x, how do I manage its sign so that when these two add up, they will produce a negative 6x. So the only way is this one has to be negative, the 5x has to be negative, and the x also has to be negative, so that when you add these two up, you will have negative 5x plus negative x. You obtain negative 6x. So in order to get negative 5x, here you have to put negative, so that negative 5 multiplied by x, you get negative 5x. And how do you get negative x? Here you need to put negative, so that negative 1 multiplied by x, you got a negative x. Then you try to expand back. Every time trying to expand back, see if you got back the left hand side. If you got back exactly the left hand side at its state in the general form, then you can rub this off, and you will say that x minus 5 multiplied by x minus 1 equals to 0. Alright, if we know that a multiplied by b equals to 0, we might say that either a equals to 0 or b equals to 0. The same thing as this one, you can as if that the x minus 5 is your a and x minus 1 is a b. So when you have a multiplied by b equals to 0, you might say that either is a equals to 0 or b equals to 0. So in this case, your a will be x minus 5 and b will be x minus 1. So when your x minus 5 equals to 0, meaning that your x has to be equals to 5. And when your x minus 1 equals to 0, then your x will be equals to 1. So we have two roots for this quadratic equation, and we got the solution as x equals to 1 and x equals to 5. For the second example, again, this is in the general form. Alright, you can check whether the right hand side need to be 0 and the left hand side it will be arranged in such a way that full start from the term of x squared followed by the term of x and followed by the constant. Then we will start the factorization by considering the x squared. X squared is consists of x multiplied by x, and the 6 can be written can be there are two combination, either can be 6 multiplied by 1 to be 6, or it can be 3 multiplied by 2. So in order to get the 7x here, I will choose to use the combination 6 1, so that 6 and 1 later on you can produce 7. All right, just consider this: 6 multiplied by x, that will be 6x, and 1 multiplied by x, that will be x. In order to get a positive 7x, I will have to put a positive sign here and positive sign here, so that when you add these two up, you get a 6x plus x, you will have a 7x. So that so if let's say you want to get positive sign, this one need to be put a positive, and if you want to get a positive x, this need to take a positive 1, so that 1 multiplied by x, you get positive x. Then we always will try to expand it back, see whether you got the exactly the same like the equation above. Then if it is correct, then you can rub this off. Then you will consider x plus 6 equals to 0, or x plus 1 equals to 0. So when the x plus 6 equals to 0, x has to be equals to negative 6. And when x plus 1 equals to 0, x equals to negative 1. So these two are the roots of this equation. Consider the third example. This a bit tougher compared to the question. This the two questions just now, because the coefficient of the x squared is 2. Alright, no problem. We will just need to make sure that this is a general form. Then we can start our factorization. So when you want to factorize, first we will consider the first term, that is the 2x squared. 2x squared consists of 2x multiplied by x, just put like that. And then 3, there's only one combination, that is a 3 multiplied by 1. And then we will always consider this 3 multiplied by x is 3x, and 2x multiplied by 1 will be 2x. In order to get a negative 5x, this has to be negative and negative. Alright, so that when you add up this negative 3x and negative 2x, you have a negative 5x. So to get the negative 3x here, this has to take a negative sign. And in order to get a negative 2x, then 1 has to take the negative 1. So that negative 1 multiplied by 2x, you have negative 2x. Then we try to expand back. 2x squared, yes, is correct. Okay, in the middle, we get negative 5x. And negative multiplied by negative, you got positive 3. But in my question, we don't want positive 3. So something wrong with this. So I need to try an error, trying to change the location of 3 1. Just now it's 3 1. So now I change the location to become 1 3. The sign need to be erased off. Okay, so now we reconsider. I will have x, 1 multiplied by x is x. 2x multiplied by 3 is 6x. In order to get a negative 5x, I need to put a negative in negative for the 6x and positive for the x, so that when these two add up, you will have a negative 5x. Alright, so in order to get positive here, you have to put positive sign, and to get the negative 6x, this has to take negative. Negative 3 multiplied by 2x, you get negative 6x. Then again, we will trying to expand back. And you got something exactly like the left hand side of the equation. So this is the correct one. Erase this off. Okay. So from here you may see that actually I'm try error when I factorize. But when you do a lot of question, you will be faster when you factorize. Okay. So again, this is A, this is B equals to 0. A multiplied by B equals to 0. Either A equals to 0 or B equals to 0. So when your 2x plus 1 equals to 0, your x equals to negative 1 over 2. When x minus 3 equals to 0, your x equals to 3. Alright, so these two values are the roots. They are the roots of this equation. And for the fourth example, this is not yet in this general form. I need to move the 3x into the left hand side and left the 0 at the right hand side. So for this equation, this is so simple to factorize, both having the common factor, that is the x, and without the constant. So this is very easy to factorize. Just factor out the x, you got a 4x minus 3, just like that. And then this is your A, this is your B. A multiplied by B equals to 0. Either A equals to 0 or B equals to 0. So your B is 4x minus 3. You need to solve further, that you get the x equals to 3 over 4. For this example, again, I need to make it into the general form first. Move every term to the left hand side and left the right to be 0. Then consider every coefficiency if you got any common factor. If it cannot be simplified anymore, you can start with your factorization. Because of the 12y square, it can be 12 multiplied by 1. Okay, 6 multiplied by 2, 4 multiplied by 3. Let's try 4 multiplied by 3. Okay, I try 4y multiplied by 3y. Okay, to get the 12y square. And the 10, I try to use a 5 2 maybe. Okay, 5 multiplied by 2. So 10 also a few combination. It can be 10 multiplied by 1. Okay, or 5 multiplied by 2. So in this case, I try 5 multiplied by 2. Again, this is a try and error. Alright, then we try to take this. This is a 5 multiplied by 3y, you got 15y. 4y multiplied by 2, you got 8y. So I'm so lucky that I can see if let's say this is positive 15y, this takes a negative 8y. I got, when these two add up, you will have positive 7y. Alright, to get a positive 15y, you got a positive here. To get a negative 8y, you have a negative here. And then we're trying to expand back. Alright, yes, you get exactly what you have at the left hand side of the equation. So this can be erased off. Then you're trying to solve for the y. Okay, so 4y plus 5 equals to 0, or 3y minus 2 equals to 0. Y equals to negative 5 over 4, or y equals to 2 over 3. These are the solution of the equation. For this example, bear in mind that we have a formula a square minus b square. If you have this type of statement, you can always factorize them as a plus b, a minus b. So I would like to convert the p square minus 9 into the form of a square minus b square by converting the 9 into 3 square. As if that now your a is your p and the b as your 3. So this left hand side always can be factorized in the form of p plus 3, p minus 3. So after that, you're going to solve for this. P plus 3 equals to 0, or p minus 3 equals to 0. So p either will be equals to negative 3 or p equals to 3. These two are the roots of the example f. For this example, I'll go a bit faster because we have explained so many examples before this. So again, this is not a general form. Move everything to the left hand side and try to simplify it. Now you can see that it's general form. So now you can start to factorize. Okay, 45 consists of 9 multiplied by 5. So 9, this is your 9k, this is your 5k. So this will be positive, this will be negative, here has to be positive, here has to be negative. And then you're trying to expand back, see if you got the correct one. After that, you're going to solve for this. Either k plus 9 equals to 0 or k minus 5 equals to 0. Finally, you have k equals to negative 9, k equals to 5. Again, changing your quadratic equation into the general form and start your factorization. 3n squared consists of 3n multiplied by n. For the 14, I'm using 7 multiplied by 2 in order to get a positive n. Okay, I have to consider like this to get the positive n. Here's to be positive, this one to be negative, and positive, negative. So when you expand it back, you got it correct. You can erase this off. Then saying that the 3n plus 7 equals to 0, or n minus 2 equals to 0. Your n equals to negative 7 over 3. Your n equals to 2. Alright, thank you for watching.